Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ShootOut and welcome to a very important Chelsea video.
Yeah, it's got to be done.
It's got to be done. And I mean, obviously, there's many teams, I feel like, in the Premier League right now that are not up to standard whatsoever. And you could put Liverpool in that conversation. You could put, to an extent, even the way that Man City have been playing and they've been hit and miss. Man United have only just recently come back into form, and that was quite unexpected. But Chelsea right now sit in 9th in the Premier League.
Yep.
And there's two visions, I would say. The Chelsea fans and the non-Chelsea fans. And the way that they're looking at this. Chelsea fans as a whole are looking at this, and we're going to dissect this, looking at this and going, we're flipping 9th, man. What's going on?
Yeah.
And then we got the non-Chelsea fans that are looking and going, world champions? You're having a laugh, right? We've spoken on the Premier League video of how chaotic this Premier League is going right now. But to try and retrospectively look inwards of Chelsea and what is going on as a whole, let's dissect it.
I mean, taking the emotion out of it for a second, being 9th after 9 games isn't progress. That is worse than last season. We were 4th in the Premier League last season, so we certainly haven't improved in that sense. I want to focus first of all on the home form because, you know, like I was at Stamford Bridge for the Palace game, first game of the season. Great atmosphere. It always is on match day number 1. Everyone's level on points. We are freshly world champions. We've just battered AC Milan and Leverkusen, I think it was, in pre-season. Everything's looking good, isn't it? And then the Palace game happens and it's like, all right, 0-0. Turns out Palace are still a pretty good team. Difficult to break down, difficult to beat. I'm not too worried about it. Let's see what happens in a few weeks' time. But now we've played 5 matches at Stamford Bridge. We've won 2, we've drawn 1, and we've lost 2. And those losses have come against Sunderland and Brighton. And in both of those matches, I'm looking at a team that simply cannot defend.
Yes.
But in terms of atmosphere, okay, I think it's always a difficult thing to discuss when you're not there. I'm not there. You're not there every single week. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, Chelsea fans need to be louder. Chelsea fans need to make more of an atmosphere. But it is a problem I hear from match-going fans all the time, that the away fans are drowning out the home fans every game. Why?
To be fair, I don't want to pinpoint this on Chelsea specifically. I think there's a Premier League thing here. Not necessarily a Premier League thing. The big clubs in the Premier League have this issue as a whole. I don't feel like you get home crowds at any of the big 6 that drown out the away supporters unless they're winning the game convincingly.
Yeah.
And then fans will really get into it. We've seen the Bridge where it's kicked off. I mean, look at the Liverpool game.
Yeah, no, that was amazing.
That was outrageous.
Class.
But people look at that and they expect that every single week. Outside of England, you do get that every single week at home games. You go to France, you go to Germany, or even Spain or Italy. There's crowds. I just don't think it's in our nature as a nation, as a whole. I just think the home crowds are there with pies and their drinks. They're just like, "Come on, lads!"
It's not Galatasaray, is it?
Score. Oh, we scored. Then they go crazy.
Yeah.
Right. But the away fans, it's the trip. It's the entire experience. It's I'm gonna make do of everything that I've put into this trip, and we're going to be loud and we're going to be on it, and we are the away lot.
Loud and proud.
And when you go to the Chelsea away fans are class.
Unreal.
The United away fans are class.
Very
the Liverpool
good.
away fans are class. The Arsenal away fans are class. Like any away crowd is class.
All of them. Sunderland away fans, well done to you as well. What a day out.
They were electric.
Yeah.
They were electric.
So do you think maybe then it's a case of the Chelsea players, like when we think about the energy of that Sunderland game, we didn't talk about Chelsea too much, but we should address it because the nature of this video, at least from my side when I'm talking to you, is I'm trying to understand where we are because I don't have the answer to that right now. Because I'm not going to look at this table and be like, okay, Chelsea are 9th without also looking at the fact we're 1 win away from being 3rd. And when you've got everybody else being like, oh, we don't know what form we're in either. Exactly. I'm like, well, okay, what do Chelsea have at our disposal? We've got, in my opinion, better players than we had a year ago.
Yep.
I think Enzo Maresca has done enough as a manager at Chelsea to actually deserve backing from the fans.
Yep.
A lot of people might disagree with that. Fair enough. Have your opinion. I've got mine. Whatever. It is what it is. So I saw enough in the summer to suggest that Chelsea had made progress. But why is it we just don't seem to be able to actually, like, build anything? Like, we can't just keep winning Oh, because we're going to go and have a silly loss again. Why?
Yeah. I think there's one main issue and another supporting issue, which is hindering Chelsea from winning the games that we should be winning. And I do agree to the extent of, look, right now the Premier League is so chaotic. I'm not looking at this right now and going Chelsea are 9 for a disgrace. I'm not, and I can't. Because, like you said, we're one win away from going back to where we should be. We're one loss away from plummeting to the depths of hell.
Please don't do it.
But this is not the case. This isn't a Chelsea problem.
Yeah.
This is an everybody problem except Arsenal.
Yeah.
And obviously, Bournemouth and Sunderland are the ones that are you look and go, they're overachieving. But I don't think they're overachieving. They're playing really well.
Yeah.
But everyone else right now is so hit and miss and so hot and cold, and they're uncertain of where they're going to be. The proof is in the pudding. Liverpool were in a title race 2 weeks ago as defending champions, and now they're below Man United. And Man United were on the brink, and everyone was going, they're going to have a calamity here. Amrim should be sacked. 2 weeks later, they're above Liverpool.
Yeah.
Do you see how chaotic it is? This is the same for Chelsea. We could be 2 results away from being right back in the top 4 and everyone calms down. But at the first sign of an issue like this, we've got heads exploding.
Yeah.
And I say, wait. No one's going to know exactly what's going on in this entire Premier League now up until Christmas. And then that's when I think everyone's going to have a pretty good, clear idea of where things are heading. But for Chelsea, what's hindering Chelsea right now? I feel like people are looking at the wrong thing. People are looking at us going, we can't beat low block teams. We can't beat teams that are just sitting back. No, that's wrong. I don't think it's that. And you could argue the way that low team sets up or goes to try and score is where we let ourselves down. But that's not us not being able to break down a low block team. Right now, Arsenal are top of the league, like we mentioned in the Premier League roundup. Arsenal are top, but goals from open play, they're 17th out of 20 teams in terms of scoring goals from open play. They score from set pieces and that's it, but they find a way. But on top of that, they defend really, really well, right? With us, we've scored more goals this season than Arsenal. Attacking's not the problem. When Arsenal look to Eze to get them a goal against Crystal Palace and they score and then they protect that lead and they win, no issue.
And it looks comfortable too.
And it looks exactly. When we have Garnacho who scores against Sunderland and we're 1-0 up and everything's looking good, that's not a problem. But then we throw it away defensively. And we also, that's the main issue that I think we have in this Chelsea team right now is our defence, right? And specifically our centre-backs. That's what I think is letting us down completely. And then the secondary factor is, in fact, the decisions that Maresca makes in-game.
Yes.
Where we saw in some other games, Liverpool, Forest, for example, we saw games where he was actually managing things correctly. We saw prior to that where he would let things go at the first sign of trouble. When we go down to 10 men, we were criticising Maresca over some of the decisions he was making. Then it looked like he started to fix these sort of things. But this last game against Sunderland, I think he mismanaged the game during the 90. And some of the subs that he was making were either irrelevant or just mistimed and not done correctly. And I think that's the secondary role that has affected our result as well. But defensively, we're a mess.
I think Marco Correa has said all of the right things after this match, talking about how we don't kill games, we don't kill teams. And I think this is where we have to say Maresca has to identify this, because I think Correa is spot on. And I find it baffling still. And I know that, we had Mark Guillou up front at the weekend. We've not had Liam Delap since match week number 2 of the season. All of this can be seen as an excuse, potentially. But the fact that Marc Cucurella is always the one in the most advanced area that we're relying to score as a left back is, what are we doing here? So no wonder we're not killing games off, because you can't expect Cucurella to be the guy to put the ball in the net every single match. He's done it on countless occasions, but that's based on probability. He's a really good footballer, and if he's constantly being asked to be in those positions, he is eventually going to convert some of those chances. But the point that he made about killing games, when you can't defend, and we've said this across countless streams this season,
There we are.
when you know you can't defend, why do you invite the pressure of having to defend by not being able to be, proficient in attack? I would rather Chelsea did concede 3 because we can't defend, but at least get the right players in better goal-scoring positions so we can score 4. Why are we not ever doing this in matches? Sunderland, we didn't offer anything in the final third for the whole match.
Yeah, we didn't.
Like, how can this be the plan?
And this is where people turn to Maresca and go, what is this? Which, to be fair, we talk about Areola and we talk about managers that are able to make things click within a certain system. And this is where it's a double-edged sword. Like I said, I think right now we can't just expect to score 3 goals every game. It's just not going to happen, right? As much as we can try. No team's doing that. But you have to protect yourselves defensively in those sort of games where you're not going to bang in 3 or 4. You have to be able to have some sort of a coherent defense to be able to not concede as much, right? It's 2 sides of the game, 2 sides of the same coin that have to work together. But in this game against Sunderland, we fizzled. Even going forward, we fizzled. We were putting bodies forward, but we fizzled. It was very flat. We weren't acting with any urgency. We weren't moving the ball quickly. It was a case of just, I don't want to say side to side, backwards. It was a lot of that, but it was just, there was no tempo whatsoever. And Sunderland picked us apart at the end, whilst having a defence that let us down fully. So it's almost like we rolled the red carpet out. And when you...
We actually did, mate.
No, it's true. And when you look to, like I've said, when you look to a team like Sunderland, where you know they're going to just try and hit you on the counter, because that is what their strength lies in, in terms of being resolute and strong and physical, you have to prepare for that. So you can't be putting, for example, Cucurella that far forward every single time, whilst your centre-backs are playing the way that they are, or the centre-backs that we have at our disposal, which we know deep down are not up to the level that we can rely on week in, week out, like Arsenal can with Gabriel and Saliba, for example. The important thing that you need to have in a Premier League team in order to actually go and compete for the title is your centre-backs are non-negotiables. Non-negotiables, especially in a team like us, where we actually dedicate our fullbacks to go forward and contribute to the attack. You need to have, and thank goodness we've got Caicedo, but you need to have 2 centre-backs there that are just non-negotiables.
Well, that is what a spine of a team is, right?
That is, yeah.
And we addressed this months ago, and that's still not addressed.
Which, with the money that we've spent,
is unacceptable.
It is unacceptable.
And it's, we can still praise some of the players that we've bought and be like great signings, like Esteval William, for example, right?
Of course.
Even the pub, biggest roar of the day wasn't the Garnacho goal. It was when he was even just getting dressed to come on.
Yep.
Because he's a great footballer.
Yep.
And yeah, he's 18 years old. Yes, he's young. Yes, he's inexperienced, but he's class. He's absolutely class. But within all of this too, right? Garnacho I thought was great. I thought he played really well.
Yeah.
And as much as, we know that when Esteval comes on, Neto will go over to the left-hand side. Why? Because Maresca trusts Neto to do the defensive work that Garnacho can't defend, I don't think. In his own box, no. He can do the work where he's kind of like just inside his own half. But then when it comes to like the actual like knowledge of like what to do in the box, he was also just staring at the Sunderland first goal too. We can't deny that.
Yep.
Right? So that's why Neto stays on, because he's a bit more proficient in that area of the pitch. But I find this whole thing just frustrating, because I can't help but keep thinking that these Chelsea players find it easy to get excited for a big game.
Yeah.
And that is fundamentally a flipping problem, because then we have to keep being reactionary as a team, not as fans. I mean, as a team, we now, the players all know. I mean, they passed the ball 629 times. Sunderland had 293. You cannot have 68% possession, 16 shots to Sunderland's 10, and lose at home to Sunderland, and then come out and be like, oh, we've got to do better. How many times have we heard Chelsea players or Maresca or anyone coming out being like, we've got to do better?
It's too many times.
This has got to stop.
It's too many times. And this is the thing where I agree with the point that you've made. When it's a big game, you actually see these players really, really amped up for it.
They look like different players.
They do. And this is why against Tottenham next weekend, I'm expecting a really good performance from Chelsea. I'm expecting the result. Because when it's the occasion, we're actually up for it, right? But in this sort of game, I feel like we jump into a naive mindset. And I think even Maresca can be guilty of that. And hence, like, the substitutions that we saw in that game, I thought a couple of them were like, what are you doing? For me, now, unless, and this is where we need clarity as well, the Josh Achiempong substitution, for example, there was no reason to do that. Unless if he was, and the rumour, and I say rumour because we've not been told, is that he might have had a knock. Well, okay, post-match, tell us.
Yeah.
Like, Maresca needs to make that clear, which he didn't make clear. So it's like, if he's got a knock, okay, he's got a knock, fair play. We can't argue that. But if that's not the case, why is he being brought off? Because Tosin comes on, there's no reason to make that substitution whilst we're chasing the game. You're centre-back for a centre-back, which makes me think, okay, was there a knock? But we need the clarity because these are the sort of questions we're going to be asking. Because we see it too often in these sort of occasions where Maresca starts, it looks like it gets into his head and all of a sudden there's a problem. But maybe there is a legitimate reason. Or if there is, let us know.
Yeah.
But that substitution also helps us cost the game.
Yes.
Because that defending at the end was just, I mean, when we're talking, forget trying to be in the top half of the top six or top half of the table. We're talking just Premier League standard. That is shocking defending.
That is beyond below par.
Really, really bad defending from Tosin and from Chalobah.
Yeah,
right?
Both of them did not shine in that moment.
And that's okay to say, by the way, without turning on the player. Because right now in the Chelsea fan base, it feels so hot and cold. It feels so black and white that when something happens like that, we've got everyone, okay, now, sell Chalobah, done, we're finished. Like, not chill. But it's okay to chill, but still say, you know what, that's unacceptable, completely unacceptable. Same goes for Tosin. He's meant to be the experienced head. But what he was doing there in that regard, in that action, even whilst it was 1v2, I don't understand what Tosin was trying to do there whatsoever. And I don't understand what ball watching Chalobah was doing either. I don't get how Talby manages to come into the box by himself, untapped, unmonitored, just red carpet. Again, that's why I said red carpet.
That is literally what we did.
That is exactly, it's unacceptable to defend in that manner.
That's
what's costing us there. That's
I've seen Tosin do this so many times, man. Yeah. As soon as Tosin has got his back to goal and he's got to either turn his body or... I cannot see Tosin deal with a 1v1 situation. And I want to bring it back to like a spine, right? Because as of right now, I think it's universally agreed amongst everybody in the Chelsea fan base and probably the wider footballing world as well. Chelsea centre-backs are not at a Premier League title winning standard. They're just not.
They're not.
They're just not. So when we're talking about that, I think Maresca's got to identify what is good. Every time Josh Achiempong plays, I'm not saying he's perfect because he isn't. There's still things that, as a 19-year-old kid, I would expect him to get wrong. Yep. But I'm telling you now, he is better than all of them when it comes to what he can bring to the table, which is great blocks, great slide tackles, proficiency when it comes to dribbling out from the back with the ball, which is part and parcel of what Maresca tries to do. He wants a ball carrier. He wants someone that can do all of those things, that can pass, that can break the lines, can do all of that.
Yep.
He's got to play every game. Yes, he's 19, but that's the situation we're in. Deal with it.
That's the situation we shouldn't be in.
But we are. So then how do we find a solution to it now?
No, absolutely.
He's got to play.
Right now, yes, Achiempong deserves to play. Right now, when we've seen him play, the last few games he's featured in, he's not really set a foot wrong.
No.
And even in this game against Sunderland, he was the best centre-back on the pitch.
By a long way.
You know, we've got really good fullbacks. We've got Reece James, we've got Cucurella. We're actually minted in that regard.
Yeah.
But as soon as they decide, I've got to go and contribute to the attack, I need to move forward and I need to aid us going to go and score, we're exposed. But Achiempong is the one that is showing a level of consistency because he's not played often. But when he has played, he's been good.
I'm looking at the stats now. 3 clearances, 2 block shots, 1 recovery, 100% ground duels won, and 1 out of 2 aerials won.
And this is a 19-year-old that has come from Cobham. So this is where, when we're talking logically, in terms of this Chelsea team and what we've spent, we shouldn't be in a situation where this sort of player is now shining as, oh, you know what, you might be our best option at centre-back. It shouldn't happen. He could be one of the best, but we should have defenders there that are like, yeah, we brought you in. We know exactly how this is going to end up. Your class, and that's it. And then Achiempong is like, oh, you know what? He'd be a really good option to have.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be the guy that we're turning to and going, you know what, we might have to start you every game. Because mistakes will come. He's 19. Mistakes will come from him. I turned to Esteval, for example, and in the build-up for, I think, Sunderland's first goal, was it? Or was it the second goal? One of the goals, Esteval gave the ball away.
Yeah. That would be the second goal because he wasn't on the pitch for the first one.
And people are going, oh, Esteval's washed. Look at him. He gave the ball away. You think a footballer's not going to give a ball away, ever. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, this is where there has to be some realism here. There has to be some logic, right? And don't let the emotion get out of hand here. But we shouldn't be in a situation where you're relying everything on these sort of players that are 18, 19. They should be coming in and they should have something that they can walk into and now supplement and grow and develop and get even better. And if they're setting a really high standard, cool. But there should be high standard around them already. In defence, you could argue for the rest of the team we have it. For in defence, we don't have it whatsoever. And we only have Levi Colwill, who's the guy that's out for a long amount of time. And even Levi Colwill is, I think many people can look and go, you see how established a Van Dijk is, or how established even now at Arsenal, Gabriel or Saliba. Levi Colwill's not there yet.
Even Van de Ven and Romero. Can't believe I'm even saying that, but let's call it what it is.
But there's stability there.
Yep.
They've been playing for a good amount of time and they don't really change. Your centre-back should be non-negotiables, like I said. Those are players that you should just have. And if something happens to one of them, you have someone that can fill in, but that still doesn't really move. We're chopping and changing centre-backs almost every game here, and it's not going to bring any stability whatsoever.
But it's reflected in everything you look at in the match. And, like, obviously, like, we're more fans that won't necessarily go through XG and all of that stuff. But, like, Sunderland had a higher XG than Chelsea. You look at the momentum of the game, Chelsea were on the attack for almost the entirety of the match, and Sunderland had little bursts where they score. But, like, each time you're looking at it and you're thinking, what are the centre-backs doing? So this is we could have foreshadowed this the moment Levi Colwill gets injured.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, it was so obvious. But then what? We need another two left wingers.
This is the thing. And this is where we turn to the recruitment. And this is where we turn to, there are players that were brought in. Not all, because there are some players that we brought in that are quality footballers, right? But you could argue that we've overdone it in areas and we've just let that area of the pitch go completely cold. And in order for you to compete, it's like I said, you need to have central defenders, man. You need
to have good, really good central defenders.
Good. And this is where, and I want to bring this up because I feel like this is important. You got fans that are looking and using Arsenal as an example now. Oh, that's a title-winning team, that. I do want to say that took them 5 years under Arteta, and they've not won a league title in 21 years, right? Yeah. And only now they're actually looking like a title-winning team. I agree. They do look like a team that should absolutely win the title this season. There's no excuses, right? But this has also taken 5 years for Arteta.
Yeah.
Are Chelsea fans willing to wait 5 years? I mean, we're not far off now.
No, I don't think we... Well, I mean, it's already over 5 years
in terms of the
ownership.
Premier
League. Yeah.
But in terms of Maresca, we're, second season in now?
We're
not willing to wait that long.
I'm not blaming Maresca, but I'm not voiding him of blame. And this is the thing. I think right now Chelsea fans are too quick to identify the current situation as either catastrophe or when we're winning, it's great. And
I agree.
As you said at the start, we're one win away from the top four again.
Yeah.
Again, top four isn't a trophy for Chelsea. That's not. That is the bare minimum so that we're not literally throwing the toys out the pram and Millwall burning down the stadium every year.
100%.
Not that we'd ever do that. But do you know what I mean? This is not Chelsea building upon the success that we had at the end of last season. That's my biggest qualm.
Well, this is the thing, exactly. And this is where it goes to the recruitment. And this is where it goes to, irrespective of who's in charge or whatnot, regardless of the manager, you have to bring in players or you have to have quality in certain areas that are, like I said, non-negotiables. And in order to compensate for building on what we done at the end of last season and going on to the Club World Cup and winning that, you don't, with all due respect, you don't spend 55 million on Gittins and leave your centre-backs to die.
Yeah.
You just don't. You know what I mean? And this is where we go to other players that we've brought in and we have actually brought in quality, right? I do believe that. I don't think João Pedro is a bad footballer. I questioned that transfer at first.
Me too.
And big time. And right now, I still think there's more to see from João Pedro. Esteval, that is identifying just someone literally unbelievable.
Yeah, Ballon d'Or potential player.
And we questioned that as well when we were first linked. When Endrick went to Real Madrid, we were like, oh my God, we're going after a 16-year-old. What is this?
Yeah,
right?
we need a striker, guys. Why aren't you going for him?
There we are. There are things, and considering the injuries that we've had, which have also played a part, I'm still waiting to see everyone fit and everyone available and playing together.
But
I
this-
want to see.
yeah.
I want to see a João Pedro Esteval, João Pedro Cole Palmer, sorry, Esteval, João Pedro link up,
Yeah.
all in the same team
With Liam
consistently.
Delap as the striker.
I want to see them with Levi Cole in our defence and see how that works. Badia Shield was showing some promise when he came. Now he's injured. I want to see these things, but I do also believe we've bought players in areas that are just not really necessary for big money when we could have done in other areas like our defence, when
Yes.
we have let that to die, and that's unacceptable.
I think at this point, it's actually so obvious. It's
Yeah.
not even a debate. It's not whether you're in favour of the ownership or out of favour with the ownership. What do you want for the football club? The centre-back position isn't good enough at Chelsea, and it is an absolute core position that every single team needs to have top players to be consistent, to not concede stupid goals, and as a result of not conceding stupid goals, you don't throw away stupid points in games that you believe and know that you should be winning.
Yep.
Or even, I would have been distraught with a draw against Sunderland. I think that's an awful result, and I think the way that we played was nowhere near good enough for Chelsea standards. But to lose it in the manner in which we did has to be addressed. I blame the centre-halves for that moment, but then I also blame the recruitment for not addressing that properly in the first place.
When the first sign of Levi Cole's injury was
Should have been the
pretty early
biggest
on.
alarm bell
Yeah.
known to man.
Yeah.
Because Maresca said it himself.
Yep.
Right?
And even then, like, even if Levi Cole was here, okay, who's playing alongside him?
Correct.
You see, like, the quality, and this is a lot of things, a lot
I'd
of
say
this,
Josh now.
a lot of this is in hindsight. A lot of this is retrospective. I
Yeah.
understand that. But just go back in history. You go back to when we won the league in 04-05, right? Terry Carvalho. United, Ferdinand Vidic.
Yeah.
Man City, Vincent Kompany.
Yeah.
Ruben Diaz, for example.
Yeah.
Liverpool, when they've gone and done it again. Van Dijk, you know, Kanate, whoever's in that defence as a whole. Arsenal right now, Gabriel Saliba. These are, you need to win the league, you need to have that. If
Yeah.
you don't have that, forget it.
And I think that that is so non-negotiable.
Yep.
That again, that is what a spine of a team is.
Yeah.
When we look forward, okay, because I want us to come out of this little part of the discussion and actually talk about people coming back from injury. Okay, if Cole Palmer does come back before 2026, great news. Liam Delap's a man who we thought was out until 2026, and he is back apparently this week.
Yeah.
Whether that's going to be tomorrow night against Wolves or Tottenham away on Sunday, I'm really excited for this. Because João Pedro, we could say, yeah, he misses Cole Palmer, that partnership, blah, blah, blah. But Liam Delap brings João Pedro's game back into being useful, I think, for Chelsea. No disrespect to Mark Guiu. I like Mark Guiu. I'm excited about his future. I thought he should have started against Sunderland. He was a passenger. He didn't do anything. And I think he made life difficult for Chelsea, potentially. But when Liam Delap is back in this team, I think we don't only get a striker who can actually score us goals, who's a bit of a bully, actually gives us someone to aim for in the box instead of just crossing it over and it going out for goal kicks or whatever we were doing on Saturday, whatever that was. And then I think you also get João Pedro back.
Yeah.
So I think that one player brings back two positions and two players to be prominent and actually useful in the final third.
And it gives us another outlet. Because when Liam Delap's in the box, unlike the game against Sunderland, where it's funny, we actually, in that moment, we were asking for the ball to be spammed into the box. Do you remember at the end of the game?
we
We were like,
were,
mate,
yeah.
cross it.
Yeah,
because we were just passing, not getting through. We're wasting time. Just spam it. But
Yeah.
if we are spamming it, you want a Liam Delap in the box.
Yes.
Because chances are, if you get it over to him amount of times, he is going to bury one or two.
Yes, but I
So-
think this was actually the team's problem mentally on Saturday.
Yeah.
Was, well, I ain't going to put it in the box now because no one's going to score.
There's no one there.
Which is kind of true.
Which is kind of true.
But then you definitely can't score if you're passing it side to side and it's like, ugh.
And you're not getting through. Now, if you are getting through, cool.
Yeah.
Don't spam it. Keep doing that because you're finding a way. But if there is no way, if I have a concrete wall in front of me, but my only hope is to maybe go a little bit back and spam it over, I might get it over the wall.
Yeah.
I ain't going to try and break the wall down and just chip away and go, I've got 5 minutes left. I can do this.
Yeah, we
It's not
don't
happening.
have that much time.
No. So what are we doing?
Yeah.
So in that regard, you just take the risk. This is risk management.
Yeah.
But with Liam Delap there, it's actually worth the
It's
risk.
actually worth
It's
punting
actually
it
worth
into the
risk
box.
because he is a specimen in the box, and chances are he is big enough to be able to get ahead onto it and get us out of a situation. So that would be a nice outlet to have and welcome back, to be honest.
But let's remind people of the West Ham game, because that was brilliant from Chelsea. 5-1.
Yeah.
Away from home. Yes, West Ham, like, look at West Ham. West Ham are rubbish. Like, of course we're going to win that. Yeah, but we didn't just win that game. We played so well. When we got the ball in the final third, we looked like scoring every time we got the ball forward. And a lot of that was down to the movement of Liam Delap. So I think a lot of people will have just thrown him under the bus. Like, the bloke didn't want to get injured. Of course he didn't. And I think it was I didn't at the time think it was going to be, and we talked about this off camera, didn't think it was going to be that serious of an injury.
Yeah.
Turns out it's actually not as serious as it looked like
As
it
it
could have been at the
deemed.
time.
Always recovered in record time here, and his body has just reacted brilliantly.
Yes, let's hope that it
Let's
isn't.
hope he's gone down.
Oh,
some
he's not
Cristiano
ready and he gets
Ronaldo.
injured again.
Like, yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, Delap is, but this is the thing, bro. This is worth a conversation itself. Delap is a specimen.
He is.
He's a big lad, and he gets himself about.
Very
and
explosive.
Yes, and that's exactly what I think Chelsea need right now. And I just want to say, right, we can't do anything about the defence right now. We can't go and sign players right now.
No.
So, Maresca, please. Josh is your best centre-back right now. And the more he plays, the better he's going to get because he's that young and he's already that good. So play him. Benoit Badiashile, please come back as soon as possible. Never thought I'd be saying that either. But I'm genuinely just like whatever at this point, you know. Like I think Trev's had a good season, but again, if he's playing as the left, I don't know. I can't excuse that at the weekend. For as much as I love Trev, I can't excuse any
poor.
of it.
It was
was
poor.
so poor.
It was poor.
But then there's also Cole Palmer, right? People say Cole Palmer FC. Some people have that opinion, fair enough. Because when we don't have Cole Palmer out there, we're not the same team. Why? Because he's one of the top 10 players in the world. Of course we're not the same flipping team. But when he's back also, how do you think it looks? Because you said something the other day. I can't remember if it was on stream or not. But Gabe was there with us and we were like, yeah, we like that sound of that.
Yeah.
How about Delap up top, Pedro on the left, Joao Pedro, that is.
Yeah.
Palmer in the
down
10,
middle,
Esteval on the right.
Yeah.
What are we saying about that in the chat, guys?
See, but we've not got that yet.
Exactly.
So we have to wait for that.
Is it too soon to be throwing our toys out the pram and saying Chelsea are done, Chelsea are finished, it's all rubbish, sack Maresca, get rid of him? Well, who do you want to bring in?
No, listen, look. So we're ninth.
Yeah.
Now, if we were ninth and there's a 7-point gap to fourth, yes, I'm panicking. At this point, I am actually going, look, we have collapsed here. That's not the case. And it's not just us. It's like I've said, this is still the start of the season. This is still everyone in the same boat here. It takes 2 more results for everything to flip on its head again. All of a sudden, Liverpool could be in a title race. All of a sudden, United might be back near the relegation. All of a sudden, Sunderland and Bournemouth might not actually be in the top 4 and they might be 9th or 10th again. Like, everyone needs to chill in relation to this point alone because the results are going to speak for themselves now. Up until Christmas, this is going to be chaos. Expect a lot of movement.
But let's actually go through this then, because Wolves in the Carabao Cup, we'll do our previews on our own channels for that.
Yeah.
Like, Chelsea, you've got to beat Wolves away.
If we don't win that, there's based on the result, there's a problem here.
But then there's also this narrative about, like, if you're going to rotate the squad, and this was another qualm I had of the game against Sunderland.
Yeah.
We rotated against Ajax. We won
did.
5-1, and then we looked as though we'd literally played on Thursday night for 120 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a worry. That's a concern. But against Wolves, beat them. I don't care. Play a full team if you have to. Go out there and win. Build momentum that way if that's the way it's going to be. Tottenham away is always just an outrageous. If we don't win that one, I'm probably going to cry. Beat them. No excuses. Win. Do it.
Form goes out the window. I reckon we'll show up in that game.
Then it's Wolves at home in the league after Carabao in the Champions League. Wolves at home in the Premier League.
That should be a non-negotiable.
Please. Burnley away in the Premier League. I'm sorry. You win this game. And then you got Barcelona and Arsenal at home in that little 5-day window that everyone's saying is going to be like, and I can see it here actually. That could be defining week.
Could be.
Same way I think Arsenal's week they've just had is defining. Beating Atletico, beating Palace.
Yeah.
That for me cements them as the title favourites by a long margin.
Yep.
Chelsea here have got Tottenham away, Carabao away, Wolves at home, Burnley away before Barcelona and Arsenal at Stamford Bridge. Go out there now and actually win these games of football. We have got good enough players to do this. Stop chopping and changing in the wrong moments. Identify a centre-back partnership as soon as you possibly can, and I think we will start winning games.
But this is the thing. Those games, you see, you've listed all those games. That's enough to be able to get ourselves back on track properly.
Sure, which changes the narrative around
It changes
Chelsea.
everything completely
Yes.
again, which is why I'm saying, for good or for bad, everyone just calm down. Just relax. Relax. It's too early to be making assumptions and judgments to that extent when it's so fragile at the moment and it's so close in terms of all the teams. There's about 13 teams that are so close together.
Yeah.
We can't be judging just based on the league position as of right now when the teams you've read out, let's just say Wolves and Burnley, we win both of those, all of a sudden we're in the top 4 and everyone's quiet.
No, it's true. But then I'll also say this. Going into that Sunderland game, the Sunderland game was like so deflating. It felt horrible because I just didn't understand how we could look that leggy, look that tired, look that void of ideas. I thought we got past that. Apparently we haven't. Going into that game, I was genuinely looking at the league table in the same frame that we've done in this video and in the Premier League review and been like, this is pure chaos and we're on a winning run now. Let's go and actually chase Arsenal down.
Yeah.
Within 90 minutes, I'm like, for goodness sake, we're ninth. What the bloody hell's going on? But that's why it's good we made this video, because I agree with you. I do think we need to calm down. But if we don't beat Tottenham, and heaven forbid we don't get anything against flipping Wolves or Burnley, then you've got to be like, right. But this is the problem with Chelsea, isn't it? Like, it's all too close to a capitulation every game week.
Every game week, it's true. And if we'd beaten Sunderland, we'd be 3rd.
Yeah, mad.
But we lost.
To be
and
ninth.
we're 9th.
Yeah, but that is reality also. We can't just be like...
No, exactly.
It doesn't make it okay.
No, it doesn't. This is just to emphasize on how delicate things are right now for everybody. This is why I go back to the point. If we were 9th and there's a significant points gap here and we are actually cemented in 9th, that means that's our level. That's where we are.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable. That is really bad. But not just for us, for everyone around us, everything is so yo-yo at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a few games, let it play out, and we will know for good or for bad. And then we'll be able to make a proper judgment for good or for bad.
Yeah.
Properly. We could, who knows? Like I've said, okay, if we've won against Sunderland, we'd be in 3rd. Okay, if we lose one more game, we can go into
12th, 13th,
15th.
15th. Yeah, nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
that would be, oh my God, heads are rolling, right?
Okay, let's try and identify how that won't happen. Okay, so I've said pick a centre back partnership and stick with it, and make sure Josh is in that because he's the best centre back. That's my opinion. That's what I think needs to happen.
Okay.
We've also got injuries, people to come back. That should play in our favour. We can't have all these players return and get worse.
Players are coming back bit by bit now.
Yes.
So hopefully that's going to aid.
So what does Enzo Maresca need to do to make sure that we don't allow that Sunderland result to roll us into the oblivion and the abyss?
Okay, well, I've got one.
Give it.
And we're calling for Achiampong to start at centre-back because he deserves to.
Yeah.
Well, Esteval should start every game.
Oh, hallelujah. I could talk about this
honestly,
for an hour.
It's not... Look, we're talking about protecting the player. It's not enough to be able to have Esteval on the pitch for half an hour and expect him to have an impact every single time he comes on for just half an hour. Play him for 90.
But also, when you're playing in a game like that, giving him half an hour when the team is obviously just going to be sat back, defend. If he's out there for the first half and he's... Esteval will make something happen. But this is the answer what Cucurella said. We don't kill games off. Well, if you've got your best player out there, the guy that will make something happen, I already think he's one of the best players.
Yep.
And I mean that wholeheartedly.
Yep.
Because I've seen enough already. He's 18.
Yep.
Give him the start. Give him it from the very get-go and see what we do. We'll score goals.
And can I say, because you made a point on Pedro Neto and how defensively he does a lot of the dirty work, which he does. Some fair play to him on that. But, I mean, going forward, we've had our criticisms on him. Esteval does a lot of dirty work off the ball.
He's too good to not be starting every game.
And he's up and down that touchline like it's nothing. And he's contributing and he's defending and he's doing all of this. Why is he not starting then?
How soon after Cole Palmer joined Chelsea did we know immediately it was a non-negotiable that this kid's got to play every game? Esteval's the same.
He doesn't need protection.
He doesn't need protection. He's ready.
He's ready. So play him. So I would look to play him. And then there's Liam Delap's now back. So we're going to be able to see what that can do, and not just for him, but for João Pedro.
Yeah.
Because now we can actually afford to maybe put João Pedro in the 10 as a regular number 10.
Yeah.
Rather than just keep playing him up front off that left and just hope he can do something whilst we've got Mark Gu up front, for example. We've got no one up top. We've got Tyreek George. Liam Delap's back. That might be able to elevate João Pedro as well. And if we have Esteval there, I think there's enough combination there to be able to have a proper threat moving forward.
I'm still confident in that. Yeah. I think we can actually. I think
You add
even-
Reece James and you add
Yeah.
Correa to that. I think we've got more than enough to score goals
Yeah.
consistently. We do. But now defensively, we've got to be careful and we've got to watch out. And I do want to make a point because this is important. I think the midfield need to make sure that defensively they are cleaning up a lot of the mess here. Because against Sunderland, and we like Caicedo and all of this going on, but they weren't up to par defensively either.
No. Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez got an 8 on sofa score. I'm going to park that
Don't know
there
how
and
that
leave
happened.
that there. Don't know how that finishing got an 8. It's because he had shots on target probably, but I'm not calling them shots,
They were
mate.
passes.
That-
they weren't even shots.
That was a little cat, like when you're asleep, like
Just
stroking
taps
your
the
face
ball.
a little bit. It was poor, but we got ran through.
We
But
did.
again, I think to wrap up, because we are running out of time here, but I think you're right. You're spot on. Calm.
For now.
We will address this in a week or two if we have to,
Yeah.
because then it's like, all right,
Then we'll know for
this
sure.
ain't working out.
Then we'll know.
And I do think it will be on Maresca to solve it, and I think he will. And I think he's deserved that belief, at least right now. But
He
yeah,
has to.
all Chelsea fans are welcome to their own opinions, by the way. I do welcome differing opinions. Just try and articulate yourself in a nice, polite manner towards others, as per usual. Otherwise, you just look like an idiot, to be
And-
quite honest.
And I will say the non-Chelsea lot, give us your opinion. Because
Yeah.
when you're looking at Chelsea from the outside, how we can look at other teams from the outside and give a complete unbiased, fair perspective on it. Give us your perspective in the comments and let us know, how do you look at Chelsea overall, and what's staring you in the face as a non-Chelsea fan in terms of any issues or why Chelsea are where they are at the moment, or what do you think Chelsea can do to move forward and actually get themselves back up to standard? Let us know.
Beating Wolves would be a good start.
Would
See you in the stream tomorrow.